Right. Okay.
That's when I can sneak out, right? Okay. Okay, all right.
Messy commute. The cold temperatures are here, and that will eventually be leading to icy roads. We're tracking the freezing rain and snow potential for tonight.
Flood watch. Ice jams are popping up across northeast Ohio. We'll tell you which cities are still on high alert and preparing for flooding.
And what you've done here in Lorain shows what's possible.
Billion-dollar investment. President Joe Biden here in Lorain today to explain how federal money will be helping the Great Lakes.
Basketball is in the air. Fans are already arriving for the NBA All-Star Weekend. We have all the fun to be had inside and outside of the arena. Plus, Mike Polk Jr. and I battle it out on the court for tonight's Throwdown Thursday. What's new starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
And hello again, Northeast Ohio. Welcome to What's New. Thanks so much for joining us. Great to be with you again. Betsy, a very good Thursday afternoon to you. And, of course, to everyone watching at home. It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming down. And it's going down. We have a lot to get to this evening.
Yeah, we do. We begin tonight with team coverage of the messy weather that's heading our way. Isabel Lawrence is monitoring the roads. Emma Henderson is on flood watch. But first, our team of meteorologists are breaking down the impacts, as Betsy always likes to stress, and the timing. So, yeah. Betsy, take it away.
Well, obviously, traffic is first and foremost what we're going to be focusing on now, because we do have the changeover that is taking place. Downtown Cleveland, still wet roads, but this is the camera out in Port Clinton. I'll show you a close-up of this in just a second. Meanwhile, farther east into Concord, very foggy conditions, rain coming down. In Ashland, wet roads. Fairlawn, wet roads. Dover, wet roads. Still no ice or snow in those areas. I have my clicker on my belt like it's in a holster. That's kind of rad. But here's a look at Port Clinton, and this is all ice on this camera right now. So that is the freezing rain that is coming down. The freezing rain threat is moving from northwest to southeast through the area right now. So far, the roads are looking pretty good. So if you're still expecting somebody home, there is a lot of traffic right now, but the roads are just wet. All that being said, all the purple you see is where we have a threat for freezing rain right now here in northeast Ohio. And again, as we go through the evening, this continues to move from northwest to southeast. Look at this temperature map, friends. We are sitting right at freezing on the lakeshore, 51 still in tropical Dover. Had some folks tell me today when the front came through, they felt like it was walking into a refrigerator, just that quick of a change. We will be keeping a close eye on this. This is going to help us out with when we go from the rain over to sleet and then eventually snow as we get into the night tonight. And you can see how this transition is going to continue to move in. I'm going to skip forward to this winter storm timeline. 30s now, 20s overnight. So we're going to go from rain to freezing rain to sleet to snow and then a flash freeze. All the standing water that's around, friends, it will be freezing up. We have a lot to get to in your full forecast coming up in just a second. All of this is coming after heavy rain today. Peyton has more on the flooding threat happening now.
Yeah, heavy rain and then also tied to some of that ongoing snow melt as well. So we are going to take a deeper dive at just the river levels and a little snapshot for you. There are a lot of colors and a lot of numbers, but I want to make it a little simpler for you. So the flood right here, what you're seeing first and foremost, the first number, that is the flood stage. Each river is different here in situation, and you can actually see right next to it, its current level in the threshold. You can see where it falls within maybe action, minor, moderate to major flooding situations here. Ongoing, nothing super crazy at the moment, but things are going to tick up as we simply head through the day tomorrow. That's where things look to crest. And when I say crest, that really means peak when it comes to river level. So most of these are expected to find their cresting point, their peak point tomorrow. So you can find where you're located, that river closest to you, and in tandem where you fall when it comes to that crest point tomorrow. Is it going to be on the major side or the moderate? We're obviously going to keep you posted, and I'll have another update in the next half an hour with the latest numbers coming in. Jay.
All right, Peyton, thank you very much. Right now, you're looking at live pictures from the OGO cameras. We are monitoring all of the major highways as the messy conditions head in. Isabel Lawrence is out in downtown Cleveland right now. She's been looking at the roads. Isabel, what's it look like out there right now?
Yeah, Jay, as you can see, the rain coming down at a pretty good clip here. And if you're looking over my shoulder at the roadways, you can see all those cars whizzing by are kicking up a lot of moisture behind them. And like Betsy mentioned, that's going to be the issue, the standing water on the roadways. When the temperatures come down, it's going to freeze, making this commute here a pretty slick one. So do be careful. I did check in with ODOT for you earlier today, and they told me right now it's really just a waiting game because they can't treat the roads right now while the rain is still coming down. That would really just wash away everything they put down, so they have to wait for that freezing rain. I was told, though, that this time of year they just keep the plows attached to their trucks so that they're always ready to head out. They've got 60 plow trucks ready in District 12, which is Cuyahoga, Lake, and Geauga counties, for when the snow does move in later this evening.
Anytime it rains, it'll just wash anything off the road that we would pre-treat with. So in this case, we're just going to have to put salt down as it's starting to transition from rain to freezing rain.
Yeah, and I was told that they are thinking they're going to begin treating again when that freezing rain comes, hopefully after the evening rush here. Now, if you are on the roads, you have to be out this evening. Make room for those plows. ODOT told me that already 30 of their plows have been struck. Their plows, rather, have been struck about 30 times just this winter. That's not good news. We obviously need those plows to be out clearing the conditions that we're going to see later today. So if you're out on the roads, do be careful.
We need them, so make sure you take caution. Isabel, you be careful as well. Isabel Lawrence live on What's New from downtown Cleveland.
That's right, and our team coverage continues now with Emma Henderson under that umbrella down there in Valley View, where they are keeping a very close eye on the Cuyahoga River for flooding. Emma, you've been all over Northeast Ohio today, and what's the situation that you've been seeing?
I have actually started out today without needing a coat, and now I have two, so that should tell you just kind of what the weather's been doing. I'm going to take a step aside and let you get a look at the river. Take a look at how fast this is moving. We have seen some very large pieces of debris moving by very, very quickly, and we've already seen some ice jams come through multiple other Northeast Ohio towns. Take a look at these large ice chunks that flooded into people's backyard today in Willoughby Hills. This happened earlier today as ice came rushing down the Chagrin River. Neighbors who live here know it's always a possibility, just like over in Vermilion, where a voluntary evacuation of Riverside Drive took place as ice came rushing through, crashing up against docks and patios, making crashing and crunching noises, which was surprising for one man who just moved to the area from California.
It came on really fast. I mean, it was ice this morning, and then I went to the grocery store, came back, and the road was closed, and the water was coming up all the way over here, and then the ice broke, and it just kind of crashed and collapsed.
Officials in Vermilion say they really only had to help one car out, and it was actually a truck that got stuck in the mud while they were trying to evacuate, but they are monitoring this river as rain continues. And this should go without saying, another safety message. If you see any signs, obviously please pay attention to them. Those road closed signs, those high water signs, if there's standing water on the road, just don't go down it. Betsy?
Yeah, good advice there for sure. And Emma, just so everybody knows too, the rivers are expected to crest tonight, late tonight, and we'll start to see the waters receding as we get into the early morning tomorrow. So keep an eye on things. Thanks, Emma. We do want to tell you, too, that the conditions will be changing rapidly. That is guaranteed. And we made it easy for you to find updated information. Go to WKYC.com. Click on our live weather blog. We're keeping it updated for you.
Well, now on your feet at 5, President Joe Biden visited Northeast Ohio today to promote plans to clean up the Great Lakes and local waterways. Mark Namick was with the president in Lorain along the Black River and breaks down his plans and the politics behind his visit.
The president used his trip to Lorain today to highlight the $1 billion in the bipartisan infrastructure bill that's dedicated to cleaning up waterways, including the Black River just outside this building. It was once nicknamed the River of Fish Tumors because of all the industrial toxins. The money will be spent on what the Environmental Protection Agency refers to as areas of concern, which also includes the Cuyahoga River and the Maumee River in Toledo. The president highlighting the benefits of such work in his speech.
And for decades, there was a lot of talk, a lot of plans, but very little progress. It was slow. That changes today. Today, we're announcing an investment of $1 billion. $1 billion. From the bipartisan infrastructure bill. It's going to allow the most significant restoration of the Great Lakes in the history of the Great Lakes.
The president was also joined by Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur, a longtime fighter for the Great Lakes. The president said he hopes work on the waterways will be completed by 2030. I'm Mark Namick, 3 News.
Well, because a major winter storm and the president coming to town isn't quite enough, we also have the NBA All-Star Weekend upon us. And despite the ever-changing conditions going on, downtown streets are absolutely buzzing with excitement.
Yeah, they really are, Bets. And even though the game itself doesn't happen until Sunday night, more and more visitors are arriving in our city every hour. While the game is the main event, there's so much going on. We've actually created an all-star section. It's on our WKYC.com website. Just open the camera on your phone and hold it up to that QR code that you see at the bottom of the screen there. It will take you directly to our All-Star coverage page. Everything you need to know about the All-Star weekend, when, where, all the details. You'll see it on that website.
So we turn now to our scheduling expert, Sarah Shookman, who joins us now to walk us through today's highlights. Hi, Sarah. So much happening in town.
Oh, that's a new title, and I like it. I'll take it. We've been telling you guys it's big, right? But today you could really see it downtown. The city is crawling with basketball fans and other visitors looking to make this weekend one to remember. Public Square and Tower City really seem to be the heart of it all, and they have been transformed to a fan marketplace with new, locally owned and national retailers opening up ahead of this big weekend. There are lots of special pop-ups, from the food court to the shopping, like Collegiate Luxe with signature gear from historically black colleges and universities ahead of Saturday's HBCU Classic. And there's also Exhibition, which features several collaborations like Jeff Hamilton jackets and Champions DIY project, where you can customize your own vintage or brand new souvenir. And there's more to do down at the Rock Hall.
I mean, this weekend, Cleveland is the center of the sports universe. And a lot of famous musicians are also big-time NBA fans, just like you and me, and probably a lot of the viewers out there at home.
Can you catch John's excitement there? We told you it is a who's who, but the list of hip-hop artists and other music stars headlining events is long. And today, the Rock Hall opened up its Baseline to Baseline exhibit, highlighting that musical fandom and the cultural impact of the sport. True fans will notice the items are displayed on cases built from pieces of the Cavaliers court and former lockers. Now, if you are headed downtown, the city is trying to remind folks to take their time and remember, parking is going to be at a premium. So RTA, rideshare, those are all really good options, guys. And in just a few hours after the Rock Hall closes, Charles Barkley and Shaq are going to be there for NBA on TNT live from the main stage tonight. All the parties start tonight, too. There's the sneaker ball down at Sausalito on East 4th Street. So if you are headed downtown, again, be careful, take your time.
Yeah, we're listening to the planes buzzing in over there at Burke Lakefront Airport.
It's been active.
They will have valet parking for private jets as we go through the weekend. It's kind of fun to watch. All right, Sarah, thank you so much.
Sure.
And, as we celebrate Black History Month, we are excited to introduce you to a man who paved the way for African Americans who are interested in the fine arts.
And let's check in with Matt to find out more on the timing, Matt. So if we're looking for that freezing rain or snow or whatever it's going to be, what's the timeline there?
Yeah, already switching over in spots out towards the west. Our surface temperatures still need to cool a little bit. And keep in mind, we're still in the 50s down towards the south. So this is going to be a transition that takes us beyond the sunset time frame. Boy, great weather for all those All-Star fans in town. Wintry mix turning colder. We'll have some sleet pelting them in the face. 30s down into the 20s. It does get better from here. Your 3 weather team's going to break down that forecast after this.
All right, boy, do we have a lot to talk about. We do have a winter weather advisory in effect for most of our northern Ohio counties, and that is to account for this rain to ice to snow changeover that is going on. Wanted to show you the look around town again because I know it's kind of hard to see it over there on the BAM, but you can see all the wet roads here in downtown Cleveland. Same for Ashland, Fairlawn wet, Dover definitely looking wet. Look at that with the spray going on down there and the fog. A lot of fog out toward the Concord area as well. And Port Clinton, I pointed this out earlier, it's like, look at all the ice on the camera. And now the camera is not iced up. So we put on our little investigator hat and we think, why would this change? Well, they changed the camera angle, everybody. The last camera was looking north. This camera is looking south. With a northerly wind, the rain will freeze on contact on the windward surface. So the rain is not able to like swirl around and hit the lens on the backside of the camera. So there is icing that is taking place here, and that is the story going forward. We have that freezing rain that is starting to happen. Freezing rain is liquid that falls and freezes on contact. That's the glazing of ice. That's the one nobody likes. The big key here is sunset. Once we take away the sun, and even with a cloudy, rainy day, we still have sun's energy coming in. Once we take that away, everything cools a lot faster. And so we will see a rapid freeze up of surfaces where we have these below freezing temperatures. And that is basically half of the area at this point. 31 in Elyria, 32 Cuyahoga County Airport. Temperatures are right around 30 farther to the west. Here's the forecast going forward for the evening. We can watch as this changeover moves from north to south. It will go from rain, then you'll start to notice a glazing, then a little sleet, and then it kicks over to some snow as we head through the midnight hour. Matt's going to have more on the snow side of things. But as far as the glazing of ice, these are the areas where we are concerned with that. I don't think it's going to be so heavy it knocks out power, but it definitely will be notable as you step out the door in the morning on your steps, porches, decks, driveways, and sidewalks. Now for more on the snow side of things and where we go from here, here's Matt.
Yeah, we're not out of the icing situation down towards the south either. As this cold air continues to come on in, you notice we'll start you off at 1 a.m. We're bringing snow and ice now further south as temperatures drop, even in tropical Dover down to 28 degrees as we get into the overnight. Snow is not going to be the big issue with this. A lot of that will start to wind down as we get into the daybreak hour. But look at temperatures tomorrow morning. Everything, especially from all the rain that we have, is just going to be a solid block of ice outside. The snow will begin to wind down, and eventually we'll bring out some sunshine tomorrow afternoon. It's not going to help. Temperatures only making their way into the 20s as we get those breaks. And then another active system comes in here. Friday night, the wind really going to pick up. We'll go windy Friday night into Saturday. This is an Alberta Clipper coming in. Quick hit of snow into the daybreak hour on Saturday. After that, we're just talking some scattered snow showers, much, much colder behind that system yet again. And then we'll talk warm up. So how much snow between the two systems? Heaviest along the lakeshore. We could see some lake enhancement setting in tonight into tomorrow morning. That would bring perhaps several inches near our lakeshore on top of the ice that we get this evening. Lesser amounts down to the south. Everyone impacted, though, by that flash freeze that happens tonight. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. We go up to the low 30s Saturday morning. Temps will crash back down after a cold Friday. But look at the recovery. Sunday and Monday, we're into the 40s to near 50 degrees with sunshine. And then we bring back another rainy system next week. Looking forward, looks like a very active pattern from here on out. Several more storm systems very similar to this one over the next couple weeks. Guys.
Fantastic.
Nice out there, huh?
There's
all
the
of our
live
visitors
look
coming
downtown.
in. That's what they're seeing as they come into land.
The good news is it will improve, but we've got rough conditions tonight into tomorrow morning. All right, Matt, thank you so much for all that.
All right, up next, we're going to introduce you to one of the first African Americans to graduate from the Cleveland Institute of Art. We'll give you a peek inside his extremely successful career. Welcome back to What's New. Many artists have started their careers right here in Cleveland. And while we've had a lot of them taste sweet success in the art world, it's very rare when one breaks through finding international acclaim. But that's exactly what happened for Huey Lee Smith. He's among the small club, and he holds the distinction of being only the second African American to graduate from what is now known as the Cleveland Institute of Art. Leon Bibb now with more on his incredible career and his life achievements.
One of the most gifted figurative painters of his generation, Huey Lee Smith, moved with his mother to Cleveland at the age of 10. Alice Smith was a singer and recognized her son's own artistic talent, enrolling him in Saturday morning classes at the Cleveland Museum of Art. Lee Smith later attended East Tech High School, where he continued to study art. He also ran track, along with a very famous teammate by the name of Jesse Owens, though it was painting that fueled Lee Smith's passion. By 1938, he was one of only 2 African-American graduates of the Cleveland School of Art.
He did a lot of paintings where he is someplace alone, okay? He's not part of what's going on. So he did a lot of carnival scenes, he did a lot of rooftop scenes, beach scenes, where he's by himself, kind of not allowed to be a part of what's going on. And it's evident in almost everything he's done.
Lee Smith left Cleveland for Detroit and New York, but often returned. He had shows all over the world, won national and international prizes for his work. You can see examples of Huey Lee Smith's work at the Cleveland History Center, the Cleveland Museum of Art, and the Maltz Museum.
Very nice. You can also see Huey Lee Smith's work in major cities like Detroit, Chicago, and New York, as well as the Smithsonian Institute in our nation's capital.
Well, coming up for us in the next half hour of What's New, we have the latest details on the recent storm track and who's going to be impacted by what and when and all that good stuff. There's a lot that's changing.
Then it's Throwdown Thursday, and there's a great new exhibit in town for All-Star Weekend. Mike Polk Jr. and I battle it out on the ice, buckets, court, for some serious bragging rights.
And then there's a lot happening around the All-Star Weekend. We are inside Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse with a sneak peek at how the league transformed the arena.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Welcome back, everybody, to What's New on this Thursday afternoon. It's a little murky out there.
Yeah, it doesn't look nice.
Yeah, you can see our ceiling. That's the bottom of the clouds.
Yeah.
And it's
After
rather
that.
low. It's a little murky in downtown Cleveland.
Yeah, it really is. All right, let's continue our countdown to spring, shall we? Because after looking at that picture, we need it. 31 days now and counting until the first day of spring, and we can't wait. Today's spring pick comes from Ruth Wursler-Fischter. This is a picture of her garden in Wayne Township. That's in between Worcester and Smithville.
I thought that was a home and garden show.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Look at all the color there. And we're hoping that you have a pretty spring picture that you want to help to put us in the spring mood. If you have one and you want us to share it, go to our What's New Facebook page. Make sure you tell us where the picture was taken. That's gorgeous.
That makes me envious.
Yeah, that can't get here soon enough.
Yeah, we need color, definitely. There's a lot of gray and a lot of brown and a lot of green and a lot of standing water right now. And that's where things start to get a little crazy for us. So let's talk about this winter storm. We do have a live look for you at the Cuyahoga River in Valley View. We have had a lot of rain come through the day today. We did get a break this afternoon. That was a very beneficial break. If that had been all rain, we really would have been in dire straits right now. But the Cuyahoga in Independence is expected to crest at 21.5 feet. That would be an 8th highest crest on that point of the river on record. But there is obviously a lot of standing water. And of course, we're going to keep you updated on all the latest of the road closures and whatnot. This is an impressive storm system, everybody. I know earlier this afternoon, you're probably saying, where's all this rain? Well, here it is. It's here now. And at the same time, we have cold air that is moving in, and that's creating this mix. Farther west, it's snow that they are dealing with. We're going to have some snow that moves in here later tonight, but it's really a shallow layer of cold air, very low slice in the atmosphere that is causing the problems because we have rain, liquid, that falls, and then it freezes on contact as the temperatures are going down. So now we're at freezing in most of the area. We're going to continue to cool the surfaces once the sun goes down, and that's why we have a winter weather advisory. It was expanded down to Canton, also into Millersburg. Tuscarawas and Carroll counties not in that winter weather advisory as of yet, but we're kind of keeping a close eye on things. Your temperature is still at 50 farther south, but look at all the areas where we are now at or below freezing, and once the sun sets, we continue to cool, and later tonight, the really cold air gets here, and that will cause what's known as a flash freeze. All the standing water will freeze up across the area. So we have this icy mix that moves across the area this evening. We will have the freezing rain, and then we'll have a short window of sleet before it kicks over to snow later tonight. Matt will be along with the latest on all of that as far as the accumulations go. But overnight, it's basically that changeover that moves from north to south, and it's all because the temperatures are dropping. 30s this evening, that's the rain to the ice. Then 20s overnight, that's your flash freeze and the snow showers, and widespread ice around northeast Ohio for the day on Friday. It's going to be rather slick around here, but we are still keeping a close eye on the rivers too, right, Peyton?
Oh yeah, we sure are. And it's important to know that it's just not some of the rivers. It's really most of them across even the Buckeye State altogether. So northeast Ohio is just really getting into this. Yes, some of them have been a little bit more treacherous than others today, but things get a little bit more tricky as we head late tonight and then into tomorrow. So this might look like sprinkles on your screen right now. According to my producer Mo, that is what she was thinking that this looked like. And I want to tell you that things, again, are going to get a little bit more on the treacherous side as we just simply head through the day tomorrow. So find your river based on your general location. This is where that flood stage is because each river is different, where it currently stands and then versus where it's going to be expected to crest. And most of this is going to happen, as I mentioned, late tonight, early tomorrow morning. There's only one or two that peak tomorrow afternoon, but the chances here of some major flooding are definitely possible, especially like Betsy mentioned for parts of the Cuyahoga River right around Independence. Jay?
All right, Peyton, thank you very much. Now to our top talker at 5:30. We are in the final countdown to all the NBA events here in Cleveland during All-Star Weekend. There's so much happening to tell you about. And we've decided that we're going to help you navigate all of it. We've created a special section on WKYC.com. If you scan that QR code that you see at the bottom of your screen, the link will take you to a page that looks just like this. It basically has everything you need to know about All-Star Weekend. But for now, our Will Uick is live. He's going to give us a sneak peek at how the NBA transformed the inside of Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse.
Well, it's almost showtime here in Cleveland with NBA All-Star Weekend here at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. You come in from the atrium, take a look at the video board bridge, basically, that you're crossing. They're right now honoring the 75th anniversary team, the 75 best players. They will be honored at halftime of the All-Star game here in Cleveland. Meanwhile, inside, they're going through the final rehearsals of the skills competition, some of the games, making sure that everybody is on board for this because it's quite the production. They brought in 34 crates of electronics and equipment as well as 22 production trucks to broadcast this to over 215 countries and territories. Something at this scale, the NBA says, boy, it's been in the planning and works for years.
We made the announcement that we were bringing NBA All-Star to Cleveland in October of 2018. So we've been making our plans since then, but really a year out in earnest, we began to put those plans into place, and we do dozens of site visits, and we come here very frequently. I've become a bit of a resident here in Cleveland.
So a lot going on here at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse as they get ready. The Rising Star game kind of launches everything tomorrow. Coming up at 6 and 7, we'll go inside next to the court, take a look at some of the graphics, some of the decor, and the stage that is literally finally set here in Cleveland. From Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, Will Ewick, 3 News.
It is so cool to see how they flip it into so many different events.
Yeah.
Hockey, there's a hockey rink in there.
I know.
Under the basketball
And they
court.
can do it in hours.
Yeah.
It's incredible
Concerts,
to watch.
I mean,
yeah.
it's amazing. We're so lucky to have it.
Yeah, we are. It's a terrific venue, particularly since the renovations. It's beautiful inside. If you haven't seen it since the renovations, go to any event. It doesn't matter. Just get inside and take a look at it. It is a showpiece for sure, and it's going to be buzzing all weekend long.
There's people downtown, and today on the news calls, there's so many people around downtown, and it's kind of nice to have some new folks.
I wish we had Monday's weather that we're going to have Monday. I wish we had that starting today.
It's all going to get better. That's the nice
Yeah.
thing about Cleveland. This doesn't last very long. So, Chamber of Commerce weather coming right up for you. Speaking of coming up, curling. That's an Olympic sport that most people really have no clue exactly how it works and what the rules are. So we're going to give you the rules of the game and the 411 on other details too.
Then we're going to show you how the All-Star Ice Buckets court works. That's a lot of fun. Mike Polk Jr. and myself go head-to-head there for today's Throwdown Thursday.
The Winter Olympics medal count is sponsored by Lincoln Electric. Lincoln Electric, building a better world.
Here you go, your up-to-the-minute medal count from the 2022 Winter Games in Beijing. The United States, 8 behind Norway in total medals, 6 behind Norway in gold medals, currently sitting in 4th place. Well, as we've been telling you throughout the show, flooding is a concern across the region. Betsy, I saw this video posted today. This is from Italian Pizza. It's in Chagrin Falls. This is actually the view from the restaurant.
Yeah.
It is right on the river. And by the way, they have fantastic pizza.
This is the falls. Yes.
That's not the big one. That's the first one.
Okay, then this is just up.
Yeah, so this is just upriver, and then you've got the
look at all
big
the
one.
ice.
But that's incredible.
So this is the problem with ice jams. All these giant chunks come down and they get hung up on a tree or a shallow spot in the river.
Right.
And they all jam, and then that forms a dam, and that's where you get the water backups that are a huge problem.
You can really see the power of water in that video.
Exactly. So hopefully everything just kind of keeps on rolling, you know. Oof. Could get kind of crazy real quick. There's some proud Mary moments happening in there somewhere, but that's all right. I'm channeling my Tina Turner. Anyway, downtown, very wet roads right now. Same for Concord, down into Dover, Fair Lawn, and yes, Ashland. But there's Port Clinton, and look, they have switched it around now to the northern camera. That's the ice that is on that camera. So their temperature is sitting at about 30, 31 degrees. They've had it for a couple of hours now. That cold air came in there first, and it's freezing it up. So this is the situation that we are facing all across Northeast Ohio, especially our lakeshore counties, and I'd say along and west to 71 and up along the lakeshore. This is going to happen now in the next hour or two. You can see where the radar is already picking up the possibility of the freezing rain. This is basically the radar algorithms calculating where the rain is falling and where the temperatures are at or below freezing. We have a lot of hazards that are popping up. These are all standing water hazards and also some flooded roadways. Be advised, as the sun sets, the roadways freeze a lot faster, and it reduces your visibility of flooded roadways. So you may run into standing water and you had no idea it was there. So slow down, take your time. A lot more rain still to work through the Buckeye State. There's the changeover to the snow. It is a sharp change as it comes in, and that will continue to move from north to south. So where is the changeover? Well, it's generally along and north of 71. Winter weather advisory for most of the area at this point. This is the last 6 hours. Just take this in. I mean, it doesn't get cooler than that as far as cold fronts go, yes, pun intended, but the more important thing is how quickly it is moving. In 6 hours, it's been able to move probably about, I don't know, 40, 50 miles, and it's going to keep on trucking as it moves farther south. So our temperatures freezing along the lakeshore. That mix moves with the cold air. So you get freezing rain first, you get a little sleet, and then later tonight it will change over to snow, and we will continue to have snow as we get into the day tomorrow. But remember, as the temperatures fall, that standing water is going to be freezing up. We call that a flash freeze. Matt has more information on that and the rest of the snow story.
Yeah, Beth, just kind of looking at the modeling there, you know, we're showing that solid block that's coming through, and I think all the models are picking up on that, but there's some dry air working into the system, so we may get a little breather. You see this little area right in here. This will be here in about 3 hours, so we may get a breather around 8:30, 9, 10 o'clock to kind of lessen up some of the precip falling. That'll be interesting to see if that happens later on this evening. But in terms of the models, tomorrow morning they all agree it gets cold around here. We'll have some lingering lake snow. Some of that snow is going to be enhanced by the lakeshore later on tonight as well, so we could pick up some decent accumulations, couple inches along our lakeshore counties. Everyone's cold tomorrow. We'll lose the snow. We'll eventually break out some sunshine. Temperatures, though, struggling to get into the 20s tomorrow. I think low to mid 20s ought to do it at best. There's your sun peak towards sunset tomorrow. Another system on the heels of this one. This one moves in tomorrow night and Saturday morning. Winds are going to ramp up again. This is with an Alberta clipper. This will bring widespread snow showers across. Should be a quick hit. Most of us will be sleeping during this time. You notice how most of it's out of here by daybreak. Temperatures behind that on Saturday will settle into a windy, cold day, likely wind chills below 0 at times. How much snow? Not a lot. It's the ice with the snow on top that's going to be problematic. Highest amounts off towards the north. You notice a couple of those little peaks where we could squeeze out a couple inches by Saturday here across our lakeshore counties. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast, 30s and falling on Saturday. We have a nice rebound out of this, though, with temps in the 40s to near 50 degrees this weekend. Sunday looking like the prize winner. Peyton and I were saying that we should probably put on sticky notes to remind yourself to get outside Sunday because it's going to be so nice. Monday too. And then next week we do another system, a little similar to this one, except we'll be on the warmer side of things. So let's get beyond this. We'll make it at Northeast Ohio.
This too shall pass.
Sunday is our Chamber of Commerce Day. It's like this all the time in February in Cleveland.
Sure it is.
Short-term memory. Yeah.
All right, skip, shot, rock, house, button. All of these are terms used in one Olympic sport. But what in the world do they mean? We're going to explore the world of curling when we come back. Then it is Throwdown Thursday, but this time I'm taking on Mike Polk Jr. We're checking out one of the all-star events that you can actually go downtown and compete in this weekend.
As you watch curling at the Winter Games, here is a quick glossary of terms to help you keep track. Sheet. That's the playing surface. Like a bowling alley, there are multiple sheets in the arena, so there will be several matches happening side by side and simultaneously. End. The name of each round of a curling match. Think of it like an inning in baseball. Skip. Basically, the team captain. They determine strategy and give instructions to the players on shots and sweeping. The skip also throws the final two stones in each end. Curl. The amount the stone curves while traveling down the sheet. House. The target on the far end of the sheet that competitors are aiming for. Button. The circle in the middle of the house. The stones closest to this are the ones that score points. Shot rock. The stone that is closest to the button. Guard. A stone that is strategically placed to protect another stone behind it. Take out. This means removing one stone from play by hitting it with another stone. Hammer. The team that throws the last stone in each end.
And the next time you watch, all of that will make a whole lot of sense.
The hammer.
The hammer. All right, as we've seen when big sporting events have come to our city in the past, there are always fun and interactive stations all across our city to make the fans feel just a little bit closer to the event that's here. If you haven't visited Tower City lately, I can tell you it is worth a trip to check out their NBA Ice Buckets Court pop-up. It's here for this week's NBA All-Star Game, and we decided we would take advantage of it. So Mike Polk and I headed out for this week's Throwdown Thursday. Check it out.
Attention Tower City shoppers, be sure to check out our newest attraction on Concourse Level 1. No, it's not a sunglass hut. It's actually
a state-of-the-art half-court round ball Thunderdome, where you can challenge yourself to the ultimate test of basketball greatness.
It's also a great opportunity to humble yourself in a public space, if you're into that.
Nope.
It's called the NBA Ice Buckets Court Pop-Up, and it has indeed popped up, right near the food court in the middle of our Tower City Mall. Of course, when Jay and I heard about it, we decided we had to check it out.
I've got my LeBron James Team USA jersey. I checked with Mike. It's okay to wear a James jersey as long as it's Team USA.
Right.
What are you sporting?
This is my actual jersey from grade school. My nickname on the team was The Brick. You're about to find out why.
We were briefed on the rules of the Ice Buckets Buzzer Beater Contest.
You have to make 4 shots in 60 seconds. Start with the layup. That's the first shot. You have to make it before you can move on to the free throw. Once you hit the free throw, you move on to the elbow. Left or right, you only have to hit one. And from there, you go onto the three-pointer. After that first three-pointer, you're in a bonus round. So point totals are double now.
And with that, the game was afoot. Having not hooped in quite some time, I was afraid that my game might have regressed. But as soon as that buzzer sounded, I snapped right back into form.
You got this, here we go. Get back here! Boy, I'm tired! 3, 2, 1.
I had outplayed my expectations and racked up 9 big ones. It was going to be a tough act for Jay to follow, and the pressure was on. In the end, Jay managed to catch a couple lucky bounces and barely edge me out in a nail-biter. But I had clearly earned his respect.
Did this get you excited for NBA All-Star
I can't wait.
It's gonna be fun.
Because they're so much better than we are.
I wouldn't be sure of that.
I would.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. All right, we're too exhausted to tag this. So, thanks for watching. We're gonna go have some mild strokes.
I was worried for Mike. I really was. He was gassed.
Yeah, well,
he was gassed.
It's because his shirt was so tight he couldn't breathe. He did not have proper lung expansion.
That's what I said. I said, is that a medium? What do you got going on there? He said, well, it's from junior high.
Now, again, I do want to stress that Mike had on the Saints Mary and Joseph, whatever the shirt was, a Catholic school. And he's a grown man wearing it, which means he probably shagged it from the church, which is really upstanding.
I think it was given to him as part of a team that he played on. That was his story to me.
I don't think so.
Mike, Betsy's called you out. She has called you out hard. It was fun. I encourage anybody who loves basketball and loves to shoot to go down there. The line's getting longer as the week is dragging on here, so you might have to wait a while to get out there, but it's really cool.
Will they leave it up afterward at all?
I think it goes down Sunday.
Oh.
So I think that's the last day.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Get out there if you can. Coming up, everybody, we have a brief break from the winter weather, but, it's back. And the little boy in our Worth the Watch sums up how many of us are feeling.
Right now, it's time for our pop quiz. Since the first modern Olympic Games back in 1896, how many times have the games been canceled? Never, twice, or 3 times? We'll have the answer when we come back. All right, so we asked you before the break how many times the winter games have been canceled, and the answer, Bets?
I'm not sure.
3 times.
3.
It happened in World War I, and then it happened twice during World War II. So 3 times.
All right, today's Worth the Watch comes from Ireland, but it's very fitting for Northeast Ohio winters.
We want the sun out, don't we?
Yeah. Sick of this cold weather, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit running, isn't it? We want the sun out, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
We
I
want
love
the
his
sun out.
It's so strong.
Yeah.
I had to listen to it 2 or 3 times to make out what he was saying.
Yeah, what is he saying?
I think he's saying we want the sun out, don't we?
Is it the cold is rotten?
Yeah, the cold is rotten.
Little button nose.
Yeah.
Oh, what a sweet.
He's adorable. That's how I felt today, looking out my window.
Just wait, there's more. There's lots still to happen here, and we're going to give you a full update on that coming up now. That 3 News at 6 is starting
right now.
Now at 6, weather warnings. From ice jams to heavy rain and flooding to dropping temperatures and snow tonight, the forecast has it all. Live team coverage coming up. Also, back in Cleveland, President Biden returns to Northeast Ohio, pushing infrastructure and funding for major projects in and around town. And all in for All-Star Weekend. Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse is buzzing, downtown Cleveland is busy, and the activities surrounding the NBA All-Star Game weekend are getting underway. We'll take you around to some of the biggest events.
Live from WKYC Studios, this is 3 News at 6 with Russ Mitchell and Laura Queso.
And good evening. Thanks for being with us.
Tonight, watches and warnings up all across Northeast Ohio due to this ever-changing weather.
Large chunks of ice forming ice jams and causing flash flooding in Vermilion. The fast-moving Cuyahoga River rising and swollen from melting ice snowpacks, keeping neighbors in Independence and Valley View on alert.
And to the east, the flood-prone areas along the Chagrin River in Lake County remain on high alert tonight, watching and waiting for the worst. Our live team coverage has Emma Henderson watching the river in Valley View, Isabel Lawrence monitoring the road conditions for flash freezing and snow later tonight. But we begin with Chief Meteorologist Betsy Kling, tracking the latest in this first weather. Hi, Betsy.
Yeah, we've been keeping a very close eye on cameras all around Northeast Ohio. Still wet roads for the most part locally. Out to the west, though, that's where the ice is already forming. Port Clinton has a sheet of ice over the ODOT camera there. And if we take a look at Toledo right now, look at this icy mess that they have going on. This is I-75 at Wales Road in the Toledo area. And you can see they have not only the ice, but they have sleet, and now it's changing over to snow as that cold air begins to wrap in. Where you see the purple, that's where the threat for freezing rain is taking place right now. Liquid rain, and then it freezes on contact. So that's the glazing of ice that is such a big problem. The pink is sleet. We'll have a short window of sleet before we change over to snow later tonight. But all of this is just a train of water that continues to move in. Not too long ago, Matt pointed out